Welcome to this week's edition of the Inside Line, brought to you by Mount Shop, and we're once again coming from the garage, and Geordie Peters from Motorsport New Zealand joins us. And I suppose you and I are just a tiny bit miffed that Cyclone Vaionu kept us away from Taupo.
Yeah, we were both going to be fly-by-nighters and just rock in for Sunday for all the festivities, and it kind of shot us in the back a wee bit there, and we missed out on it. But we probably shouldn't complain too much. I think there were some people who were genuinely affected by the weather in some parts of the country and not just missing out on the motor racing.
Yeah, but Ryan Wood leading the JR Trophy into Ruapuna this weekend is a good thing. Okay, let's just see what Kiwis were doing overseas this weekend. The biggest story comes from the WRC. Hayden Paddon and John Kennard, they podium a third place in Rally Croatia. John Kennard becomes the oldest driver in WRC to be on a podium. But that, when you think he's running a limited campaign, Hyundai must be going, okay, it was the right call. So that is definitely worthy of a golf clap. In Carrera Cup Asia, Marco Giltrap, they're racing in Zhuhai in China. A good and a bad weekend. So P2 in race 1, but he DNF'd in race number 2. But he's also dropped from 3rd to 4th in the overall championship, but he's still flying the flag. In other Porsche news, there's a driver called Tom Alexander, who's a well-recognised driver trainer in this country. He ended up racing a Porsche Sprint Challenge in North America over the weekend. It's Sonoma, and his team put up a JTR Motorsports, by the way. They finished P7 and 9th overall. And if you remember lovely Zach Schooler, of course, he was the winner of the 70th New Zealand Grand Prix this summer. He decided to turn his attention to tin tops in LMP3. Well, he's had a great start to it in the Michelin Le Mans Cup in Barcelona. He got himself a podium. They put the car up on the front of the grid in P2 and finished up P3. So it was a great weekend. Not a great weekend for SVG and NASCAR at Bristol. Qualified 33rd, finished 34th, got punted, so it is what it is. But there's so many races, I'm sure it's not really going to hurt his chances. As you can see, the Kiwi flag is flying and very, very busy and successful overseas, Geordie. But it was a big weekend at home, particularly with some championships being decided.
Yeah, it was a massive weekend at home. And before I touch on that, I just want to, acknowledge and echo the achievement with John Kennard and Hayden Paddon standing on that WRC podium. We talked a lot about Liam Lawson in Formula One at the moment, and he is doing an exceptional job sitting in the top 10 of the points there. But it can't go unsaid that Hayden and John, they are in the Formula One of the rallying world at the moment, the WRC, and they are doing a limited campaign. This is only their second round of the year, of the season, and their first back in a heck of a long time, almost a decade. And to stand on the podium at an event like that, where it was really an event, a rally of survival and attrition, that is no mean feat. So huge congratulations to both of them, and it's a special time for the sport to have people and drivers in WRC and Formula One at the same time and bringing success. But back on our home shores, yes, the ITM Taupo Super 440 was awesome. Not only did we have Ryan Wood flying the flag high in the Supercars Championship, taking that historic first victory in the Toyota Supra, we also had a couple of our New Zealand championships wrap up as well. And, of course, not to forget Matty Payne with a couple of top 5 finishes too. GR86 Championship. It was another great season, unfortunately cut short by a race. But overall, Chris White was the very deserving champion there in a title fight that did literally go right down to the final round. And then in the TA2 Championship, the first ever New Zealand TA2 champion, Caleb Byers. So big congratulations to Caleb, and we've got a word from both of them at Taupo.
I just honestly can't believe it. I can't thank the boys enough. Their support's been mega all year long. They've helped me. Everyone who's supported me on the SP Tools, AC Delco, all of the Chevrolet team. I just can't thank them enough, to be honest, and I'm really looking forward to heading over to QR and teaming up with Jared Hughes, and I just can't believe it, man. I'm over the moon. Yeah, and we're the 25-26 TA2 SP Tools TA2 champion. We finished first in race 1 this morning, 8-second margin, so yeah, I was absolutely over the moon, and I just can't believe it, and I just can't thank everyone enough. Everyone that turns up, all the marshals, all the Supercars crew, it's awesome.
And it feels awesome. We've been working so hard, the New Motorsport crew with Andy and Mark Wood. They've done a fantastic job all year, and all my crew, AJ and Jared, they've done so much hard work on the cars. The hours aren't unforgettable, how much time they've actually spent on them and working through them. as well as my teammate, Mac Templeton. He's done a fantastic job this season, so I'm really grateful that we're able to pull through and get the win in overall.
From tarmac to gravel, we had the 50th anniversary of the Otago Rally, the first round of the Brian Green Property Group New Zealand Rally Championship, and what an event it was. Around about 150 entries, including lots of international drivers, as we previewed on the show last week. And of course, we had a victor, and a new victor, like we alluded to, and that was Jack Stokes. So our Elite Motorsport Academy graduate that we talked to on the show last week did the business down at the Otago Rally. Jack Hookswood was in second place with Emma Gilmore in third overall. And just an honourable mention to Ari Pettigrew. We talked about him bringing that Porsche 911 into the championship, and they finished sixth overall. So congratulations to Ari and his team for that awesome build, but a massive congratulations to Jack Stokes on that awesome victory.
Yeah! There's the picture. Well done, guys. My goodness me, young Jack. That was some performance. Your first win in the New Zealand Rally Championship, the biggest rally of the year. What does this mean to you?
Oh, everything. It's been months and months and months and months of work. Just so many hours that everyone's just done just such an amazing job. I'm just so grateful to be in this position. To get to drive a road like that at full speed is just the best thing ever.
You know what, it was a tricky rally though. We saw a lot of people making mistakes out there. You never put a wheel wrong all weekend.
Oh, I certainly made a few mistakes. No, we definitely got lucky a couple of times. I mean, the car's been faultless all weekend, the team's been faultless. It's just unreal.
The perfect way to start the New Zealand Rally Championship for you.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
It's going to be a big year.
Yeah, sure.
Congratulations, well done.
What a cracker weekend for Jack Stokes, who was our guest here on the Inside Line last week. He wins 4 titles in one weekend, so keep your eye on it. Even better when he wins his maiden rally. If you want all the details and want to just look at it again and again and again, the 50th Otago Rally, go to nzrc.tv. That's nzrc.tv. In a weekend of winners, we're joined by another winner in the garage. He wins his first Napa Central Muscle Cars title for the first time, Angus Fogg. 9 years trying. I would have thought you'd won it 50 times.
Yeah, well, it feels like it, doesn't it? But, hey, winning a championship is quite different to winning a race or two, and that's just how the cookie crumbles some days. You're winning races, and then you get to the end of the season, have a little hiccup or whatever, and the championship doesn't fall your way. But great to tick that box. Car was awesome as usual, and it was a cool meeting. Shame about the cancellation on Sunday, but I guess all eyes forward to Ruapuna now.
So what's next? You won a championship. What do you do next?
Oh, I've won a few championships over the years. It doesn't change your life, I can tell you that. I'm still waiting for Roland Day. Well, Roland Day does ring me up now and again. That's the running joke. If you do well, oh, is that the phone going? It'll be Roland Day. No. Same old. We're going to have another crack next year, I think, in the Mustang, and there's possibly something exciting coming up with Australia.
Hang on, you're not allowed to come on the show and then tease people.
Well, that's what it's all about. Bit of a tease.
Yeah, all right. So, but I've always wondered, what's that J.A. Russell Mustang like to drive when it's in sync with you?
It's usually in sync with me. That's the magic of it. It's that car and I have gelled very well. Unlike some of the cars I've driven over the years, which I never really, that Super Tourer that never wasn't really, I don't know, wasn't at one with it. But that Mustang is something else, and it's done some stuff over the years here in Australia. So crazy stuff, good stuff. And developed quite a following, so why not keep going with a good thing?
Yeah, what's it like coming down Conrod Straight and that thing with everything hanging out?
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
1 year we went there, depending on which class we're running and how the rules are going.
Well, they don't like you, do they? Because you're too fast.
No, they do like me. Yeah, 90% of them do like me. There's the odd, person who grizzles, but generally we're accepted very well by the fellow racers and the public. So 9,000 RPM in top gear, 314 kilometres an hour. good fun.
And then coming down to the bottom.
Oh, yeah, well, then you've got to stop, don't you? So
Yeah.
that's another thing. But
Are they harder to stop than in a modern car? No.
No, the beauty of Central Muscle Cars is they've got enough safety and modern stuff, brakes, suspension, to be fast and safe. Some of the historic classes, make you stick with the old brakes, and they were kind of dangerous when they were new, let alone 40 years down the track. So, no, it's an absolute pleasure to drive. Best car I've ever driven in my life, and I've driven some very cool cars.
What's the coolest car you've driven outside of this?
It would have to be one of the historic cars. The CRC Alfetta, pretty cool.
Oh yeah, that's beautiful.
The JPS BMW, the Group CX Jim Richards run, and then a couple of weekends ago the Alan Moffat V6 Capri. So very lucky to work on, be involved with those cars and the cool people who own them.
How different was that Capri to the Mustang? I mean, ridiculously different.
Ridiculously different. Yeah, it's all tyres and noise. It's not that fast. It's reasonably fast, but compared to a modern day vehicle, it's only got half the horsepower, double the tyre. It's very light. It doesn't really matter. It's just a cool car. A lot of that old stuff is all about the noise, the history, and just being involved with the people. It's a blast.
Yeah, I look at you as one of the present characters in motor racing in New Zealand, and tyres and noise almost epitomises you. Is that why you wanted to be I call a part-time race car driver?
Definitely a part-time race car driver. People think that I'm some kind of full-time whatever.
Well, you
but
look you look good.
I'm a dirty old mechanic, and
Yeah.
occasionally I get to drive a cool car. So that's the story of my life, and it's been a great story. I just love the sound and the noise and the tyres and smell, and you've got to be at the track to experience that, which is something a little bit missing. People today looking at stuff on their phone, you don't get that oral sensation and the visceral sense of it all. The smell and the feeling of hot dog sauce running down your chin and all that stuff. You've got to be there to do it, don't you?
Did it start with Dad?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, Dad was into historic or classic racing, it was known then. Back in the days when you used to pump up the tyres and take the chili bin out of the boot and go racing. That was proper classic. Well, some days you didn't take the chili bin out of the boot and wondered what was crashing around in the back, but that's another story. Absolutely started with Dad, and then a bit of a love affair with Mini started. I used to go to the Mini 7 racing at Bay Park and Pukekohe. I had a Mini as a road car. You could fill a tank up for $20, and put
she's 150 to fill up.
A couple of lads in the back, and away we went. Had a great time. Yeah, it was really, really cool.
Did that sort of lifestyle set you up just to do what you do now and build cars, build engines and?
I think so. I mean, it was pretty simple. There wasn't a lot of money involved. It was just passion and lots of late hours and lots of beer and a little bit of Karuba.
Yeah.
And blah 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 blah. And it was easy. You could put your mind to something and kind of make it happen if you had half a brain and some hands that were reasonably clever. Away you went. And so I've just built stuff and learnt as I've gone along and been at the right place at the right time, and here we are. Do
you still adhere to that simplicity of life?
I do. All my car builds are as simple as they can be, simple and reliable and strong, maybe a little bit over-engineered, a little bit of a Larry Perkins sort of outlook on it. Mm-hmm. There's no point having something that's flash and light and whatever if it breaks halfway through the race. So, I like to think that we build a good car, and we're still 45 odd years later still pumping them out the door, and everybody's happy. So
did you see the car you're sitting in front of, the little Mini?
I did. I obviously love a Mini. I'm actually just restoring one for a friend of mine in Cambridge, and I've still got a Riley Off that I used to race. So still very much a Mini freak, if you like.
What do you make of the new Minis, or should you just call them pretend BMWs?
Binnies, BMW Minis. They're not a Mini.
No,
but, they're sort of a. I don't know. Let's not get started on that because people are very passionate about their new Minis.
No, that's okay. But I sort of when they bought the back, I thought, actually, at least it's almost an homage to it. And now they've sort of gone a little bit too far with them.
Yeah, well, they're big now.
They're massive.
They're massive. Yeah, everything gets bigger as you get older.
Yeah.
Well, some things don't.
No.
But anyway.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, I'm not a new Mini fan, but love the old Mini bricks. Yeah.
Is there one Mini that you can remember you went too far with the build? And went, maybe I just went too far there. Engine's too big.
No, never. Why?
Okay, so is there a key to the perfect Mini build?
I think it's a balance. Yeah, it's a balance between tyres, brakes, engine, you know.
How about history? Because you've mentioned history before.
Oh, well, there's some pretty cool stuff. I mean, the one that I own, my dad's the Amco Mini that Rod Collingwood drove to the New Zealand Touring Car Championship in 70 and 71. That's a incredibly historic Mini, and we still enjoy driving that and tending to it. He had owned it since 1982 or something, so it's been in the family a long time. Very cool car, and a couple of my clients have got historic cars as well, Minis. So, and whenever I'm up the track with that kind of meeting, they're always, oh, Foggy, can you give the carburetor a twiddle or do this? And so it's part of my DNA. That's just what I do, and I love it.
Speaking of DNA, can you remember the first car you legitimately raced?
Yes, it was my very first car. It was a Mini Cooper, which I bought off the car lot in Cambridge for $3,500 as a young fella.
That's a lot of money. Back then?
Well, what do you mean back then? And it became, we did gymkhanas and club events and all that, and it just went from there.
So, do you still have that same feeling sitting in the seat on the start line as you did when you first started?
In a Mini?
No,
or in
any race car.
Oh, I don't know. It's a buzz. It really is a buzz. It really is a buzz. So I don't know whether it's the same feeling or not. Probably not. I think as you get older, you get a little bit wiser.
Or more competitive. Because you think you can keep up with the younger blokes, right?
Oh, no, there's none of that.
None of that?
None of that, no. Although, in the weekend, Andy Knight, he's been my big competition this year in the muscle cars, and he's not even 40. He's not even 40, and I'm damn near 60. So, well done, old boy,
Yeah, but there's still something that drives you, right, to hop on a car and scream around a track.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's the adrenaline, it's the people. I don't know, it's a drug. It is a drug. You have to go back for more.
Yeah.
You come off a weekend of whether it's good or bad, and you kind of fall into a bit of a heap and go back to work and whatever, and then get all pumped up and go to the next one.
Is there anything in your racing career you wanted to do but was never able to achieve?
Oh God, where do you start?
Okay, when you started racing, did you want to be a full-time racer? And was there a formula type that you wanted to race?
No, I was dreaming about. Don't ask me what I was dreaming about when I was a young fella, but I never thought I was going to be a Formula 1 driver or blah, 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 blah. Always loved Trans Am racing, which was big back then. Never had any money to speak of. And the guys that sort of got in there had dads who mortgaged their houses, blah, 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 blah. That's still happening today.
Yeah, nothing's changed.
Yeah, nothing's changed. So we were just a normal farming family from Cambridge, and, quite a different scenario to the guys who were in those upper classes. But having said that, having done it my way, if you like, or the way I had to do it, we've come a long way. V8 Supercars at Bathurst with dear Jason and all sorts of stuff. Raced in Europe, Minis again at Spa, on pole at Spa. Pretty cool stuff over the years that I've done.
Spa must seem big in a Mini.
It's flat through Eau Rouge, brother. Flat. Can't have to change down going up the hill. Yeah, no. It's bucket list, just absolute bucket list.
It begs the question, TA2s. Does that have an interest for you?
Yeah, it does have an interest. I will have a drive at some stage. My mate Lance Gerlach's got a car, Mr. Pack and Save. So we're going to have a skid and see if it spins my wheels. I'm sure it will. I mean, they're a cool concept. They're a little bit tractorish. Maybe that's being a bit rude, but they are a bit tractorish, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And so's a muscle car, but the muscle car's probably a little bit more advanced, believe it or not, than a TA2. Yeah. It doesn't matter. There's 20 of them, and
they make
they're
noise.
into it.
They're
noisy. Good guys. They're noisy, the V8s.
They're powerful.
Yeah.
But you have to manage the tyres a bit more, though, don't you?
Yeah, they're quite a different type of tyre, big sidewall, which is good. Good
and
for
maybe
racing,
the wrong engine for you?
LS the world, baby. Not so sure about that.
We're heading towards Ruapuna, the final round of the first ever double header. You've driven Ruapuna a couple of times. A lot of those drivers wouldn't have seen it. Where do they have to be mindful of on that track? What turns? How do you successfully navigate Ruapuna?
I think you find a few of them have been doing a bit of surreptitious testing.
Yeah.
So they'll have a bit of an idea.
There's some kids out there that would never done it.
Yeah, true. And there's been, believe it or not, a couple of team managers ringing me up for data so they can, not that I have data, but I knew where to obtain it from different vehicles. So they're don't worry, behind the scenes they're ready to go. There's simulators and
whatever. So how do you navigate that perfectly? for you?
Well, I think Ruapuna's one of those tracks. It's a bit like Taupo, except it's got some grip. Taupo's got no damn grip, which is quite frustrating in a high power heavy car. Great in a Mini or a TR86 or whatever. Ruapuna's got some grip. It's smooth. They've done a heap of work. It's just a matter of because it's got so many corners. One corner needs to the next corner. Avon Hyde, bless his soul, very much underrated and good bugger in New Zealand motorsport. Did a very valuable thing many years ago. He said, Foggy, if you at Ruapuna, the way to go fast is to count to 1. Every time you come out of a corner and you want to put your foot hard on the gas, count to 1 and then put it on the gas. And it's worked well all those years, because if you get it's a circuit that encourages you to get on it, but you can't. It's
hard to find a rhythm.
No, it's got a nice flow. Yeah, it's got a nice flow. Quite big curbs, so the supercars will be jumping over them big time. I see they've painted them all beautifully, but they'll all be black by the end of the weekend.
Best place to pass?
Well, that's the other good thing about it. There's lots of places to pass. Anywhere there's a bit of a straight and then a tight corner, that's the braking. Most of the passing, as you know, happens under braking. So I think it'll be a great spectacle. I'm looking forward to it.
Purely from a race car driver's perspective, but also just a fan, how important is it to have it at Ruapuna, a second one at Ruapuna?
Well, I think it's important to have it, it's great to have it in New Zealand for 2 rounds. That's for the starter. And any track that we can get the 2 rounds at is brilliant. Ruapuna's one of the old-fashioned sort of circuits in New Zealand. It's a great circuit. The facilities are getting a little bit tired.
But they're going to work on that.
They're going to work on it. So the Supercars thing will help them to financially and get all that happening. So I think it's great for the South Island. It'll go off. Christchurch is a wonderful city, and I think it's going to be quite the eye opener how many people turn up and how successful it's going to be. Hoping the weather's going to be okay.
Race car driver Angus Fogg, newly crowned Napa Central Muscle Cars champion. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, sir. A pleasure.
Let's wrap up this edition of the Inside Line, brought to you by Mount Shop, with a look ahead to what's happening motorsport-wise and where the Kiwis are racing this weekend. IndyCar's back finally. I do miss my IndyCar there at Long Beach this week, which will be a challenge for all 3 Kiwi drivers, and SVG's in Kansas with another race. Back home, of course, the big talking point will be Ruapuna. 4 races, plenty of points on offer, Geordie, for the Euromark Motorsport edition of Supercars. I am looking forward to this.
Yeah, same here. I can't wait. I'm heading down to get in amongst all of the action. But of course, there's also a great support lineup down there. So we've got the final round of the GT New Zealand Championship. Formula Ford are running the Road and Cars Masters Challenge, which is going to be cool to see. All sorts of drivers from across the country and also internationally as well. We've got a couple of Aussies coming across to fight it out in this one-off non-championship round. And then, of course, the historic touring car class, always a favourite, and so much history, so much awesome history in those cars. So plenty to look forward to down at Ruapuna. And then, of course, across the rest of the country, we've got the Autumn Lup Navigation Rally by Raytech, the Women in Motorsport Day hosted by the Queenstown Car Club, Golden Autocross by the Central Otago Motorsport Club, Motorcana at the Sports Car Club of New Zealand, Auckland Car Club are running round 5 of their summer series. Hamilton Car Club have got the Kairangi Loop Tarmac Sprint. Motorsport Bay of Plenty, they've got a gravel sprint on. Manawatu Car Club, my home club, they have got grass skids taking place out in the paddock at Manfield there. Trentham Motorcana is happening with the MG Classic Motor Racing Club. Gravel Autocross is being hosted by the Southern Rangatiki Car Club. And the VCC Motorcana is being hosted as well by the Hibiscus Coast Motorsport Club. And the Hawke's Bay Car Club rounds us out for the weekend and running round 2 of their Motorcana series. So a lot of club sport events happening all over the country. Plenty for all of our competitors to sink their teeth into and for spectators to go along and have a look as well.
Oh man, that's unbelievable. If you think last week we were talking about this, it was a really quiet weekend. Now it's gone gangbusters. I'm going to throw in as well this Saturday night at Waikato Park. It's the North Island Sprint Champs as well. So from dirt to gravel to everything, it is going to be a bumper weekend. Geordie, thanks, mate. I shall talk with you next week.
Same time, same place.
Same time, same bat channel, and that is this edition of the Inside Line, brought to you by Mount Sharp. If you want all the goss and what's going on in motorsport New Zealand, this is the place to be. You just got to get on the Inside Line.
Break it down now.